Gonna welcome in a member of Team PokerStars Pro. Got Lex Valdhouse in the house.
Hello, hello.
So Lex, something tells me that you've probably encountered JM Prodigy online.
What's his name?
JM Prodigy is his online handle.
Yeah,
Joel
I've played against him. Which one of these two guys is that?
Not the Bulgarian guy we're looking at now. It'll be the other one.
Okay. Let's see the stacks.
It's about 18 million, plays 11 million right now.
Oh, so they're really deep.
Very, very deep. Mika with the advantage, but obviously a potentially long, grueling heads-up battle ahead of us.
That's fine. Heads up is fun to watch.
Maybe for you.
Well, yeah, because I understand what's going on.
Yeah, it's crucial. It's key to enjoying something is understanding what's going on.
Yeah.
I just see the matrix.
So we've got Joe Stapleton in the house as well. A reminder that the hashtag on Twitter is PCALive.
So explain this hand to us. Heads up, genius.
Well, I'm kind of surprised that, a little surprised he flats with the ace-10 from the big blind. I mean, of course you have some deception value, but the hand is so strong, and from what I remember from Mika, I reckon he's opening a lot of buttons.
So you think what you gain in deception, you lose in value?
Yeah, kind of. And just it's like a good hand to just, it plays pretty easily, and it's a good hand to put some pressure with.
Check, check, open, please. Ace 10, aces and deuces, and you will win this.
Don't like his check much though. Because if they're not going to bluff the ace on the turn, they're probably not going to do it on the river either. I just bet it probably from his, because also people don't really expect you to have an ace from the big blind.
Right, if you're going to be deceptive and just call with it, you got to try to get some value at some point.
Exactly, so, you know, you could just like, I mean, you just kind of have to fire, because the ace is such a good barrel card for the button that if they're not going to bet it, they're probably not betting the river, so you might have, you just have to hope he has something to call with, like a 7.
Now we've been showing a lot of love this week to the new PokerStars TV app, or rather the updated version of that app. Darren asks on Twitter, is it available for the iPad or just the iPhone? It's strictly speaking an iPhone app, but it does operate on the iPad. Now, Joe, you've been doing a lot of promotional work for the app this week, and you've seen it in action on the iPad. Is the picture quality good?
I have been the monkey dancing to the PokerStars organ grinder, yes. And I have seen it. You have to, now the thing is, if you want to download it, you have to look for it in the iPhone section, but you can download it to your iPad, and you just have to use that little ×2 button in the corner, and it expands the full screen. I think it's just fine.
Wow, we've got action here. Danchev's button raise was called by Mika. They both checked the flop, and Mika's now gone behind, his 2-pair being beaten, with Danchev setting up on the turn. Mika makes a delayed continuation bet of 475,000. Or rather, he now leads the turn because there was no continuation bet from Danchev on the flop.
I'm guessing Danchev is just going to call twice here. Unless the board pairs up, which could go very well or very badly.
That's true. There's only one pair he wants to see. 2, I guess. 5s or 4s.
1,200,000.
He's going to raise the turn.
Really surprising, because you're kind of repping a straight here, even though you have a set. So if you're repping a straight or a bluff, it's kind of hard to get value from something less good that feels comfortable. Plus you open yourself up for a really tough situation if somebody does decide he doesn't believe you and 3-bet bluffs. Also, it's just,
Or actually has a straight.
Exactly, yeah. If you just flat here, also you get a lot of bets on the river from somebody, and now you kind of discourage them from doing that.
There's the call from Mika. We've got 3.1 million in the middle.
And a deep sigh from Danchev when he makes that call.
Deuce on the river.
Check, check,
And it goes check, check. And Danchev will show the set of 4s for the win. And that'll reduce the distance between them. Mika's still in front with 15.78 million. Danchev not that far behind now with nearly 13.3 million. The Bulgarians very happy with that result.
These guys are still just ridiculously deep.
Yeah, it shows that it's such a good structure too. I don't like good structures.
Yeah, you like to just gamble up, huh?
Well, you know, I can always justify my moves by, you know, time is running.
Yeah, blinds are going up, guys.
Sandkid Poker tweets to say this final table is better than a FIFA World Cup final.
Ooh,
Whoa,
I think they're trying
whoa.
to take a jab at Lex there.
That was a dig for sure. Easy, buddy.
All this FIFA talk from Lex, I almost want to start to learn to play the game just so we can become better friends.
It's like the second most popular sports game in the States as well, I think.
After Madden?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really do sports games, but if I was going to pick one, I would probably do FIFA.
Yeah, it's
Seems
a lot
to
of
be
fun.
like a lot more action.
Plus you can needle too, because you can celebrate after you score goals.
Oh, really?
In like 70 different ways.
I want to know when they're going to hook up the Xbox Kinect to the point where it can mimic your dance moves in your living room as your celebration.
Well, by that time I would probably want to play Mortal Kombat though, if that's possible.
Button raise from Danchev with Jack 7. Mika will 3-bet with a dominated hand.
I like it.
There's a lot of huffing and puffing from Danchev as he folds.
Maybe he could be trying to give off some reverse style where, you know, he shows that he's getting sick of it or something, so that he might do something, or, you know, he might just be tired.
I was going to say, how about just an actual tell that he is sick of it?
True.
Heads up can be very frustrating.
Yeah. But he's, if I recall correctly, he's been all in for his tournament.
Prior to this.
Yeah.
And 154. Button raise from Mika. Danchev defends. Danchev again with the best hand.
More domination nation.
And then flop, which doesn't help either player.
Yeah, he's tired.
No reverse tell.
No reverse tell. Or he's super energetic. You know, he just has a really good game. Just always.
Like Brady? Like Brady?
Okay, I think we can hand out the award for most bizarre tweet of the day so far. This one from Nashag. Stapleton, you should turn pro. Besides all your stupid jokes, you know more poker than most of the people out there. Don't get jealous, Hartigan.
Not even remotely true.
Your stupid jokes or your skill?
The jokes are in fact stupid. The skill, not than the people out there. Maybe than the general public I know more about poker, but these guys would run circles around me. Plus I have no heart. None.
Just for the record, I wouldn't be jealous if you turned pro.
You wouldn't be jealous?
No. I'd be laughing, but I wouldn't be jealous.
I wouldn't be laughing, I would be very happy.
I'm sure the whole poker world would be very happy to have me donating. The only problem is if I got lucky and banked a tournament, you would never see me again. That money is coming out of the poker economy immediately.
Same here, buddy.
I would show up for the press conferences.
Just pull a Jerry Yang.
That's right. Disappear, give a bunch of money to charity, fall off the face of the planet.
We've talked about how the PCA has grown. Aman says, please organise 2 PCA series every year. For me, it's bigger than the World Series of Poker. Unfortunately, I didn't win a PCA qualifier this time.
Maybe they should do them back to back, like a second chance. And it's like a
PCA 2.
Yeah, two week longer vacation.
This ain't a vacation for me, buddy.
How's Danchev going to respond to this raise?
Really? You haven't gone to the beach at all, Joe?
To shoot stuff, that's it.
Oh. I've been to the beach all day.
You look beautiful, by the way.
Thanks, it was very nice and relaxing. I did it yesterday too.
Danchev 3 bets.
Cool story, bro.
And Mika calls. We're going to see a flop.
Interesting hand to 3-bet. Doesn't flop very well. Plays kind of tough out of position. When you do flop a pair, it's usually when there's an overcard on board or when somebody has a higher kicker. Just being suited makes such a huge difference. Like we saw Mika do it earlier with suited. Also, I think Mika is a little more comfortable, just judging from this short time, like a little more comfortable playing 3-bet pots out of position.
Well, there is a pair of 9s for Mika. Danchev now with a gut shot and a flush draw. Mika does not want a river 2 pair.
It's a hard spot, this too, because if you check this flop, you pretty much don't rep anything except for a high spade at this point.
Danchev bets his high-ish spade.
And Mika calls.
The nonchalant call.
Brick on the river. So does Danchev shut down?
You see, you can't do anything here. This is the problem with hands like this. Your hands are tied. You can't really bet because you know you're going to get called. So you're pretty much betting a loser on the turn. Of course, somebody could fold out the turn, but most hands that fold the turn would bet the flop in position. So it's just kind of just a bad situation to be in.
Right, somebody could also pull the fire alarm.
Yeah.
Danchev has given up, he checks. And Mika looks like he wants to bet his pair of 9s.
You just muck as soon as he starts counting the chips out.
I don't even know if I like this bet that much because either somebody gives up or you open the door for something bad to happen. Also, people might, you know, if they were betting a 9 on the turn, they might check now.
I think that Danchev's kind of proved that he's not the guy that's gonna shove that river bet up your. But yeah, I do see your point that there are a lot of other players who might.
The problem is he's only going to call you with a 9 probably minimum because if he gets a 6, he bets it on the flop because he flops a pair. So, you know, you're only going to get called by better. So it's kind of you're bluffing
And
with
you're
showdown
not folding
value.
out, right, you're not folding out worse either usually.
We're almost back to where we started. Mika playing 18.5 million, Danchev playing 10 million. And a question on Twitter from Alex. Lex, are you going to be playing the T-Coops?
Yes. Oh my God, yes.
He's gonna last even shorter than usual in the T-Coops.
Yeah, but now everybody does, so it's okay. No, I love the T-Coops personally because it's, especially for all the games that, you know, you can get your quick stud fix that you want like once every while or just play some mixed games. It's just, you know, I generally don't like the long haul in tournaments, obviously. You know,
Story checks out.
Yeah. So I like the T-Coops
He
for that
tells the
fact.
truth too.
What
He's telling the truth.
what part of day one did you go bust on this year here? Before the dinner break?
Yeah, right before it actually. I was perfect planning because it was like 5 minutes before dinner break, so there were no lines. And then I ate, and then I could drink because all the bars were empty. So I was just with friends, like quick service.
It's probably the second best scenario. Other than, you know, ending day one with the chip leader. Second best.
Yeah, probably.
Just go broke and beat the lines.
Yeah. I mean, I thought I did pretty well.
Michaela's just tweeted to say, I'm on vacation in Vegas, should be gambling myself. Instead, I'm in the hotel streaming PCALive to JM Prodigy.
Well, I'll bet who the winner is. I mean, if you know, somebody.
Oh, with her. We're not allowed to bet.
Am I?
You are. You, as a professional poker player, are encouraged to bet. Me, as a professional hanger-on, not allowed.
Another domination situation.
Tarnation.
A little surprised Mika flats with the Jack 10. He gets pretty quick folds from Danchev, and I mean Jack 10 plays a hell of a lot better than 10-7 suited. I mean, of course, you know, the game flow might be better to just flat here because he seems to have a pretty good sense post-flop of what's happening too.
Call, straight card, deuce, diamond, check.
360,000 apiece on the flop.
I mean, with this many big blinds for each player, are we gonna have to see some kind of crazy cooler situation?
Yeah, probably. I think what Mika is hoping for, you know, that Danchev just checks the turn behind. Now he gets to rep an ace by betting the river. It's a pretty solid plan.
Root card is the queen of clubs. Go bet.
Nice read, Lex.
75,000. Queen card fold. You call it five.
His friend is pretty sober.
Everything's relative here in the Bahamas.
I mean, Bahama Mamas get me off my rocker too, so if he drank one, then he's acting like I would after drinking one. I don't know.
The thing is, though, he's already standing. Where the Bahama Mama gets you is when you're sitting down
Yes.
and you have like 2 or 3 of them, and then you stand up and you're like, oh, I just realized I'm drunk.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you know that you have Bahama Papas as well?
There's
They
a
did-
Bahama Papa.
Yeah, that's like right up your alley. It has twice as much rum.
I think I've had some of those. I just didn't know it.
Seen 160 hands at this final table. Roughly 25 hands of heads-up play.
What would you guys say the average amount of hands dealt at the final tables you guys done, like before it's over, is?
I want to say something in the 230, 240 region.
Okay. It's pretty quick when you think about it. I mean, not like it takes a long time, but you know, still it's very variance heavy.
Yeah, it's hard to do like a lot of stats or, you know, sort of draw conclusions based on that few hands.
That's what I always say about my TV cash performances as well. When people say I did bad, I was like, well, it was only like 120 hands. You know, who knows?
Good to know that we're destroying people's lives across the world. Ali says, I should be studying, have an exam on Tuesday. Instead, I'm watching this live heads-up battle.
Allie, turn it off. Open a book.
Isn't it Sunday today?
It is, but I guess you want to get 2 days of studying. It might
She
be a
has-
big exam. I
She
don't know.
has
I
all
don't
of
know what-
Monday evening.
I don't know what the exam is.
What if Allie becomes a doctor someday and there's an emergency situation that requires her to recall what she's supposed to be studying this weekend? Then lives are on the line because of us.
Wouldn't it
Turn
be,
off the stream.
And wouldn't it be ironic if you were the person she had to operate on?
Yeah, it would.
That goes through my head sometimes when I'm at a physiotherapist or a doctor, and I'm like, what if this is the test he cheated on? You know, I'm screwed.
Raising, make it 325,000. Call.
Raise and a call. Danchev with ace-6. Meka with queen-5 suited.
He cheated on the test or how you treat people over 6'2". No, you can never use that medicine on a tall guy.
Check, check. Turn card. Ace of spades.
Danchev pairs his ace on the turn.
Spade draw from Mika.
And he's going to bet that draw. Again, Danchev shows a tendency not to c-bet. He'll often check behind if he's missed the flop.
Call.
James, do you remember much about his play from San Remo?
It was a relatively short heads-up battle. I remember him getting unlucky against Patichuk at some point. Obviously, they were pretty even when they got heads-up, and they pretty much chopped it 50-50.
Oh wait, Danchev, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Welcome to the booth.
No, I'm gonna display my professional poker skills now because I got really deep in that tournament. I played with him for like 4 days, so I know who it is now. It's impressive.
You play with him in a
What's
tournament
impressive?
for 4 days, but you've only just recognized him.
That is impressive.
Well, maybe that says something about him.
Oh, there you go.
Zing.
Oh, just very quickly, Ali's come back on Twitter to point out that she is actually a he.
Well, that's, I mean, if you're going to be a doctor, you should at least know what gender you are. I'd say that's probably step number 1.
Mika extending his lead. Or rather, Danchev narrowing the gap. That pot actually went to Danchev there.
Sorry, Allie, I didn't realize you were a boy, and also ignore the direct message I just sent you.
Valentin says, I cannot resist going to sleep. A great night, guys. Thank you for the nice commentary of this PCA final table. And Stefan has tweeted me several times today asking, please give us the results of the PCA Star Tank. Oh, was this the stress balls thing?
Yes, now I
6,000, right?
did hear today it was like 5,864 stress balls. But what I also found out is that the prize was they gave one stress ball to each of the 5,864 people who came the closest to answering it.
No.
Yep, to the top 5,864 answers, they each got a stress star. So, congratulations, all of you.
I tilted on stress stars once. I had 700,000 FPP and I spent every single one of them on stress stars because I was going to build a wall in my house and pad them with stress
And punch
stars.
it? So you could like kick your wall and punch it?
Yeah, I saw that I could just run into it. I also ordered like 500 sweaters. Once.
Worst use of FPPs ever.
Probably not.
That's what you think.
So Danchev raises the button and Mika just calls with the 8s. It's a low flop.
Card checks. Card 4 diamond.
What'd you do with all that stuff?
Well, the stress stars, like in that session, I got like a moneymaker medallion, name a star, like a lot of stuff, and I canceled it the next morning, realizing that I might need my FPPs for some cash, and then I just
You're ever
had
on the
to,
rail?
I purchased one of each item but PokerStars was kind enough to cancel the rest.
Surely whoever took that order must have thought that's a misclick. No fool would spend 700,000 FPP points.
I wouldn't have cared. I'd have shipped those things out so fast. Sorry, Lex.
Yeah.
Did they even have that many in stock?
Obviously, they had 5,864 of them to bring here. That was probably what they did with all Lex's leftovers. What are we going to do with all these stress balls?
Anyway, Mika bet the turn for 475,000, and now he bets the river for 1.23 million. Danchev with just king high, actually thinking about this.
Well, his king high plays it like kind of the same like ace high, because Mika would, you know, 3-bet a good ace high and check a bad ace high here. So, you know, he's good against the same range of hands. So I guess I understand him thinking about it. I have a feeling he's gonna go for it just by game flow. Plus, like, you know, you called somebody with king high in a PCA main event and you were good.
He lets it go.
He's not winning that medallion today. What is a moneymaker medallion?
I really like Chris,
Yeah.
but I never opened the package. I just gave it to one of my friends.
So you don't even know what it is.
No. I have one.
What if it was like a puppy?
Puppy?
Yeah.
Not open the box.
Someone's
horrible.
got a very gross package.
Krishnan asks on Twitter, could you please give Mello from Canada and Andy from England shout-outs as they don't believe this is a live stream?
Mello and Andy? No. No shout out for Mello and Andy.
And Marcus
I refuse
Lee,
to mention their names.
Marcus Lee says, I'm up for work in 5 hours, but still watching this heads-up battle. Hashtag so worth it.
Does anyone mind if I dip out to the party real quick? No, okay.
20, please.
I was just asking.
10? Is that like 10?
I don't count. I think I have less.
Don't worry about it.
I don't know.
9.5 million. in fact.
Well, you could count your own chips, and then you would know how much your opponent has.
I pitched this yesterday. Didn't go over so well.
I mean, if you can fold like that, you can count your chips, right?
That is correct.
Online players.
I'm a live pro now, so I get to hate on stuff like that. Oh, actually, no. I play a lot of online again.
Which is it, Lex?
I'm all round.
You're like Blade. You have all of the online strengths, none of the weaknesses.
Yeah.
And for those of you asking on Twitter, if they're actually playing for the advertised payouts or whether they did a deal. No deal has been done.
No deal.
So second place, only 1.2 million. The winner will get around 1.9 million.
Has a deal been suggested by one of the players or turned down? Or?
No talk of any deal. Hasn't even been brought up.
It's pretty gangsta.
Do they know they can make a deal?
I'm pretty sure they do, seeing as Dimitar Denchev did a deal with Andrei Patichuk in San Remo.
Okay, just checking.
Patichuk was so good. He's the real deal.
Hello to Kim, who emails nuts@pokerstars.tv to say, hey guys, great coverage, rooting for Joel Mika. We know his dad who's on the rail. We work with him. Go JMP from the Garnets.
Look, I don't see Juan Manuel Pastor anywhere at this table. So let's just stick to Joel Mika. If you want the JMP nickname, you got to earn it. You got to min crush. Bless you.
And for Alex, who's asking on Twitter for an update on the high roller. We'll float the camera above the tables from time to time, but as Brad Willis mentioned earlier on, those guys are covering that tournament. So check out the PokerStars blog for regular updates from the high roller. Wow, someone really has got a major sneeze.
Somebody must be allergic to donkeys. By the way, I haven't pitched this on the show. I want to put an end to the whole God bless you, thank you deal. It's awkward. You don't know if someone sneezed or they coughed. Then you say bless you. They're forced to say thank you back to you. Like, I don't even want, like, don't say anything to me.
Okay.
All right, so just.
Done.
Yeah, cool. Thanks. And that's the last thank you you're going to get. It's archaic. We know your soul's not escaping.
I don't know what archaic is. I'm not English.
Antiquated.
Old. Very, very
Out
old.
of date.
That's a cool word, actually. Antiquated is not so bad either.
25,000 Joel calls.
You can teach me some Dutch later.
Flop is spare part,
Stand up.
6 of diamonds.
My English teacher always used to smugly say, antiquated is in itself an antiquated word.
Look at you.
He's real English. We do have a somewhat interesting board here.
Yeah, Danchev's button raise flatted by Mika with the suited 4-3. He's paired that 3, but Danchev has a big draw here.
Calls.
I hope Donchev bets this twice. I mean, he has to.
Turn card, ace of hearts. Checks.
Please don't check.
Classic ace turn.
Will Danchev barrel?
I think you should just bet this 3 times, always, regardless.
This is like compulsory here at least, right?
Yeah.
I don't know a ton about poker, and I don't have a ton of heart, but I know that you have to keep firing here.
He
Yeah.
does bet again.
760,000.
760,000.
Kind of curious what Mika's gonna do, because he has such a good read on whenever Danchev shows weakness on a board, that if he does bet twice, you know, it's like bottom pair, the thing you want to make a stand with.
Check, check, open please.
Why the instant check?
3-4, fair trade.
You see, because the ace is such a good card for Danchev to bet, he should expect that he's gonna get looked up by like a 6 or an 8. Like, you should at least like put the pressure and fire 3 times to make people sweat. You just let him off really easily.
Well, that's where the
This way.
heart comes in, right? I mean, you just have to follow through, and you have to, you know, that's a scary bet to make, knowing that you know you don't have an ace, you know that you're losing to any other pair, but you still have to keep betting.
Yeah.
I looked at the first one. I was like, well, it's going
3 tables left in the 25k high roller. Some familiar faces there: Vanessa Selps, Sean Deeb, Tobias Reinkemeyer, Nick Schulman. Who will make that final table? You can watch them play down from 8 to a winner tomorrow, 2 Eastern, PokerStars.tv. We've got Sam Stein and Christian Harder there. Mickey Peterson is still in.
Mickles.
Is that Micah Raskin?
Yeah, it is.
Raise.
People can watch that final table we did in San Remo online still, right?
I'm not sure, is the answer. Because of the nature of the production, I'm not sure whether it has actually been archived on .tv.
Well, if you can, I suggest that Micah Raskin was at that final table. Maybe the most interesting and fun final table I ever commented on. Arthur Litvinov, awesome character, was wearing a T-shirt with massive holes in it and doing karate kicks in between every hand.
Oh my God, is that the guy?
Yeah.
He watches motivational videos on his iPad, speaking to himself.
I maintain that's part of his act. A lot of it is an act. But the thing with Litvinov in San Remo is obviously he makes the final table, so he's played every day of a 6-day tournament, and at night he's playing open-face Chinese in the hotel. He didn't
All night.
sleep. He didn't sleep for the 6 days of that tournament.
And he had a hole in the side of his shirt, the complete size of his abdomen.
Some people, man.
He was so funny. And Micah Raskin's kind of a character, and there were some...
Is Raskin the bald guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there was some really hysterically crazy, like, 4-bet pre-flop, flop top pair and fold
Whoa. That
type plays.
My ears are bleeding. What?
Yeah. I mean, I can't remember the specifics of it, but if it is online, y'all should check it out.
But never mind the poker, everyone will remember that live stream for the fact that someone took a leak and flushed the toilet in the background.
That's true. It was an audible whiz.
Mike emails nuts at pokerstars.tv. Says I'm in Canada on vacation. Or rather, I'm from Canada and I'm on vacation in Mexico, and I'll be watching until the end, no matter what the wife says. Thank you for the great stream.
Just skip the United States entirely. Just fly right over that dumpster fire. Canada straight to Mexico.
I think Mika's kind of running away with this. Like, it seems like every pot that nobody hits anything, Mika's winning, and that's pretty much decides most heads-ups.
I think this is the biggest his chip lead has been so far. What's he on? Nearly 22 million, 21.74, and Danchev down to 7.
That's why, you know, I really feel I still don't really like his call with the 3s in the last hand, because it could have been completely different. Like, you know, like a lot of the times you'll have to face a river bet, and if you're winning all the small pots, who cares, you know?
And Chev flops a pair, bottom pair.
It's gonna light to defend your big blind.
Jack queen for a rainbow. Yep, 225. 325,000 holes in limit are
Danchev will win that one. A few people asking on Twitter about where the live stream is on the PokerStars TV app. Well, I have the app on my phone, and it's when you launch it, it's there. There's a little window that says PCA 2013 main event. Click on that, it's going to work. Granted, there's kind of like, it scrolls along, but it's the first thing on there.
You know, James doesn't have an iPhone at all. He's got 2 cups tied together with a string. Nobody's impressed, James.
Yeah, we're not backing you for this one, buddy. It's like one of those Nokias with a 7-day battery. Oh my God, those were the days.
And they, like, couldn't break either, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure you tried.
The Nokia 6600, classic.
James just has one of those with an actual camera taped to it.
Raise this bitch at 925,000.
Another 3-bet from Mika here. Danchev's open to 325, 3-bet to 925.
I'm not going to say anything because I don't know the cards, so I'm not going to look stupid.
Come on, go for it.
I mean, I would say like Mika has a really wide 3-betting range here. Like, he has a lot of momentum. He has been calling some Jack-10 type hands from the big blind, so it could be that he has a pretty strong hand now because game flow kind of dictates that that's where he wants to go with his next 3-bet. Don't know what kind of hand. Danchev must have some like suited
I'm all in.
ace deuce.
All in?
I call.
Yeah.
All in a call.
Ace king versus 2.
It's ace queen against pocket deuces. Danchev with the pocket pair. The ace king, the overcards for Joel Mika. And this is for the tournament. This is for the title.
Wow.
If the ace-king cracks the deuces, this is over. Danchev will have to settle for his second runners-up spot, and Joel Micker will have won the PCA.
Lex is so mad right now.
If Danchev's deuces hold, he will double up and they'll be practically even in chips. Danchev will actually have the slight chip lead.
Yes, baby. 6 of diamonds. Queen
No
of hearts,
ace
tray of
or
hearts.
king on that flop.
Jolie will need to get
Lex, what do you think of this shove with deuces?
I mean, he was getting outplayed. I don't mind it that much, actually. He can't just keep folding and stuff like that.
So you just kind of take the edge out of it and
Yeah, just go for variance.
leave it up to variance.
It's looking good for Danchev now. An 86% chance he gets the double up. Just has to fade aces and kings on the river. Not sure if the baby on the iPad can make it happen. The baby has no power. So Danchev doubles up. He's the new chip leader, but it's very close. The stacks are even now.
So does anybody want to talk deal, or I don't know.
This is probably, you know, like, my suspicion is that it's going to go to the same chip stacks. If nothing big, no big hands like this happen, it's going to go back to the same stacks it was before, and we're going to have another flip.
Right, because Mika is just so good at working this heads up. He's just winning every small pot.
Yeah.
Slowly building his stack up. We could see it happen like this a few times.
7-5.
I mean, you can tell the frustration from Danchev. He just put in like almost 50 big blinds to like a 5 to 6 big blind 3-bet, you know.
I mean, you joke, Joe, anyone want to talk deal? I mean, is it a practical option now, Lex? Now the stacks are even, that they should start looking at the numbers?
If they look at the numbers, I think Mika would want a significant portion on top of it for him to be able to talk, because
I think so too.
he feels in complete control. I mean, it already shows, like, if this was a solid hand, like jacks against ace queen all in, then maybe, but the deuces just shows the frustration. So that means you're getting to somebody, you have the momentum. Well, the momentum's kind of crushed now, but I mean, you were doing so well. So I think Mika should hold off on a deal, to be honest. But that's easier said than done if you have a $700,000 difference.
I wonder if Danchev thinks about it practically in that moment. If he realizes that he's likely to be flipping for like $800,000. If you still make the same move, if you actually think about it in those terms. Sorry,
Well,
what is it? 7,
Yeah.
a little less than 7.
But I kind of hear what Lex is saying. You realize in a while that I'm getting outplayed here and I just have to
Definitely.
gamble.
Definitely, but I don't know. Deuces to me is just not the hand you really want to gamble with.
Yeah, I think the thing that goes through his head was, oh, here's this guy again. Okay, screw it, I'm all in. I think that's exactly like what it was going through his head.
And that's exactly it, but when you then apply it to the fact that it's for, you know,
It must be
$750,000.
No, I think that realization comes when somebody says call.
Yeah, right. And then you're like, ugh,
Yeah. Larg.
whoops.
Even-ish.
Should be like 15 to 14 somewhere.
Correct, Robbie. It is 15 to 14. 94 big blinds plays 88 big blinds, and they will continue. Line still 81.60 with a 20k ante. 35 minutes left at this level.
Lex, you just haven't been plugged in this entire time. No one's heard a word you've been saying.
Wow.
Lex just found a mic cable on the ground. I was wondering if anyone had been hearing him.
8 of clubs, king of hearts, 5 of hearts. Check. Dark checks.
Because c-betting this flop.
Danchev pretty good at always catching a piece.
Yeah, it's skill.
Not always sure what to do with it.
Well, I mean, to be fair though, like Mika plays, you know, Mika probably is more experienced in this situation. I think Danchev is a little more comfortable playing at a full table, so that he can keep his hand range kind of small. So, you know, it's tough.
Check.
You know, Mika plays a lot of heads up online. If Danchev only plays heads up when he makes it to the heads up in a tournament, you don't get to practice that very often.
Yeah.
These pair of fives are good.
Please don't bet this.
635.
I don't see the point of this bet.
Value
Yeah.
bluff?
35,000.
Yeah, it's like you can't really think of a hand that calls you. There's just
Hey, he's banking on the hero with the pocket fours.
yeah, I guess.
Jake has emailed nuts at pokerstars.tv to ask, Lex, have you been playing any of the open-faced Chinese games? If so, at what stakes?
I've actually been kind of nitty because they coincidentally went along with a lot of drinking, and if I'm drinking and playing a game like open face Chinese, all I can see is royalties, and I just fire off. So actually, I've been playing for like 10, 25 a point, so it's kind of lowish.
I watched Lex playing a little bit, and the man likes to gamble. We'll
Yes.
say this much.
Raises makes it 325,000.
I feel like these games are personally made to destroy me.
It just finds that sickest part of your soul and grabs it and takes it out on a romantic dinner date.
The dark corner that's only tucked away for PLO sessions.
Sleeps with it, never calls it again.
Dan Chev's button raise called by Mika.
Check. Check.
I wonder what it does to Mika, if he's going to change anything, because I hope it doesn't force him to change the way he's been playing. But sometimes, you know, people do that after losing such a big pot. They panic, something happens.
Card 9 of diamonds.
I hope he sticks to what he's been doing, because he's been playing well.
Check. Check, check. Card 10 of hearts. Bet 450. 450.
Mika firing. King high.
Call. King high.
Well,
King high.
Dan Chev just calls with his straight. Flush draw came in on the river.
yeah, I'm fine with just the call. It's kind of a, it's a good board. It's a good card for Mika to bet, and I kind of like the flat call too. It's like kind of a thing you saw like 4 or 5 years ago a lot, where people have the feeling like I have a straight, so I kind of have to raise, not really thinking about why.
Just again, you know, you raise and then you get re-raised somehow, and it's your biggest nightmare.
Exactly.
You're just like, oh my god, why did I do that? Why
Yeah.
am I so stupid?
And the hands that are going to call you are so few, you know, because anything that is really strong on that board would have bet on our previous street. A flush draw, a 2 pair, sort of stuff like that. Like even a middle pair that's turned into a 2 pair now would have bet previously. So
Right, what are you hoping? That you river to set?
yeah. He looks a bit more chipper now at the table than Chef.
Sure, well, doubling up will do that. Winning a massive flip will do that.
Yeah, like, I mean, the pot was like 2.5 million equity or something. Dollars, real dollars.
Yeah, that'll get the blood going.
Yeah. I mean, they're probably not thinking about it that way now, but they shouldn't anyway. Oh wow, just a call from ace-8 suited against tens. This is an action board.
Absolutely. Mika's flop the flush draw. Danchev with the overpair.
I think it's gonna. To be honest, I think they might get this in on the
Bet 300.
flop or the turn.
300,000.
Oh, he flats. I'm kind of surprised by that because you know he's ahead of his c-betting range.
Card 3 of hearts.
GG.
Check.
Spade would be very bad.
I think there's a big chance he might peel again though if Denchev bets, because his ace high is going to be good a lot of the times, and even against better ace highs that fire for value, he has the backup flush draw.
Well, the Russians are getting excited about something. What do they know that we don't?
725. Or bet 725,000.
I think someone just brought some borscht over there to their booth.
This is, of course, a multi-language webcast. If you do want to listen in Russian, assume you speak Russian,
Card 7 of hearts.
you can join Ilya and Mikhail on the other side.
That river is boring.
Check.
No, wait. Oh my god, okay, thanks. I thought that Mika, I thought that both checked. I would probably walk away if Denchev checked this, but luckily.
You just see Lex wander into shot and start choking. Danchev.
I hope Denchev bets really big, because if he's going to get called, I don't think sizing matters that much if somebody has a feeling to call here. So if I were him, I would just go for like 2.2. I mean, somebody just lost a huge all-in. He might be a little, you know, off his timings. Might want to chase to get that lead again.
You think you have the best hand here like 1,000,000% of the time, so you just want to barrel, just bomb this.
Yeah, the only time I would be worried if I bet 2.2 and I get raised.
1.85, not quite as much as Lex would have wanted, but
It's all right.
sizable.
Good fold from Mika.
And Danchev
Must be Dutch.
extending his chip lead, 18.2 million, playing 10.87 million now.
It's a good combination. First catching a really big double up, then catch some hands. He's keeping momentum now.
And they are 50 hands into heads-up play now. And 50 hands in.
Lex, can we extrapolate anything from this after 50 hands?
Well, to be fair, like the funny thing is, from this, I would say that Mika's not raising enough. I like his post-flop aggression, that it's a little lower, because he uses the information that he gets from Danchev on later streets better, so he doesn't have to be as aggressive. But I definitely say he should open more buttons. He should probably be around the range of like 85% to 90.
Bogdan in Toronto emails to say, just got back from the PCA yesterday, and I can say I was impressed with how well organized this event is. It was my first time at the PCA, but for sure won't be my last. Compliments to everyone in the poker room, and thanks for the memories.
You know, also something I wanted to say about that is the first couple years I went to the PCA, I kind of whined about it. And I will say over the last couple years, I've really come to enjoy this. This might be my favorite stop again. It's really fun here. We all bitch and moan and whine and complain. That's just the nature of what we do. We're all here working. We're all here grinding. We're all spoiled brats. But you know what? This stop is awesome.
That's true.
What he said, although I still whine a lot.
Yeah, and I don't work.
The kvetching is part of it.
These hard words.
I think that one's Yiddish.
Interesting dynamic. I wonder how Mika feels inside now.
Raise.
Raising his button, his standard open to 325,000. Ace-9 suited, and Danchev defends with Queen-7 suited.
Standard raise and defend hands, yeah?
Oh!
Yes, of course. I might.
Pretty gross flop for Mika.
I mean, Danchev has been playing pretty passively post-flop, and then hands like this are killer, because you're not going to do well with them, so... But of course, he doesn't know that leak of himself, so, you know, he doesn't know that he shouldn't probably defend this. But I sure think he's happy he did now.
Danchev check calls the flop for 350,000.
4 of hearts.
6 of diamonds. Things just get better for Danchev.
It's a little action killer, though, for him. Because before, if his plan was to check raise, now he can't really do that anymore, because there's a straight out there. Don't like this check at all from Mika. There's so many hands that you can get value from. A lot of hands get a gut shot with it. Like
so many draws developed on the turn.
Yeah, like 10-9, all that kind of stuff. All those hands you lose value against now because of the king.
Even though in this case he's losing, what we're talking about is generally.
Yeah. You have to,
and that's how you have to look at these hands.
Yeah, you have to not put people on a single hand, but on a range of hands, and make a decision based on how you would do against that range of hands.
Danchev bets 725,000, gets a quick call, and wins another significant pot, and now has better than a 2-1 chip lead over his opponent. 19.6 million for the Bulgarian. Mika down to 9.45 million.
I have to say though, this is again a situation where if Mika's gonna call, the sizing doesn't really matter, because he'll have a hand to call, and he bets half pot on the river. You know, I would like to see like 1.1 into 1.4 there. If somebody has a king, guaranteed they'll call. He would have called with this hand all the same. You know, the sizing doesn't really matter in this situation. So feel like
And
he's
plus, at this
costing
point,
himself.
he might even be more apt to get called on a big bomb because all his value bets so far have been smaller.
By the way, they're down to 2 tables now in the high roller, and the final table will be streamed tomorrow. Vanessa Selbst still has the chip lead. She's had that chip lead for the last couple of hours.
Vanessa's due to make a big final table, I think, but you know, a classic story with Vanessa is that she has the chip lead until she's out.
She has like 10 now, or I don't know.
Really love to see her
right
at the
about
final
10.
table tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be entertaining to see that.
So when this level began, when the heads-up battle began, the chip stacks were completely reversed. It was Mika with around 20 million, and Danchev with around 10. So Danchev was 3-bet by Mika. He's called that 3-bet on the button.
A little surprised there. Just with the way, you know, flops has been going for him.
King of clubs, queen of spades, 7 of hearts. Go check.
Mika's flop best.
I think what he hopes for is that Danchev checks behind and then he can bet his queen twice, something along those lines. I hope he doesn't check to hope that Danchev is going to fire, because he hasn't been doing that too much. Like his c-bet percentage has been very low. With this hand he might though, because it's still, I wouldn't really like it in his spot, because this is a typical board for Mika to represent a strong hand after 3-betting on. So if he does check, you have to get a little suspicious.
875,000.
Also, I don't like that he insta-calls here, because if you wait a little while, it's more like you're thinking that somebody's up to something. And here it just looks like, okay, yeah, this was my plan.
I wanted to bet.
Yeah.
Check. 7 of spades, go check.
Mika checks a second time.
Kind of like ticking that box ahead of time.
Yeah, exactly.
Danchev slows down.
Yeah, I like the check though. I think this is a good point to just give up, kind
8
of.
of clubs.
Because
Check.
I think Mika always bets ace jack ace 10 on the flop. So, you know, and those are the kind of hands you're looking to fold out.
JMP wins some back. Ben tweets, feel sorry for Mika, outplaying but running horrid. Is that a fair assessment?
I don't know if it's hard. He lost a big flip.
Well, I think it's a pretty fair assessment, but it's so short that maybe, you know, I mean, Danchev hasn't really been in a lot of spots where he could make something happen. So should not just judge too harshly, I think. But yeah, he's been playing extremely well, so it is extremely unfortunate for him that he hasn't been able to take it yet. It's brutal how it can be. And you can see now, like, he completely lost momentum.
If you have just joined us on PokerStars.tv, you're very welcome. The final table of the PCA 10 main event. Heads up between Dimitar Danchev and Joel Mika. It's James Hartigan, Joe Stapleton, and Lex Veldhuis from Team PokerStars Pro on commentary.
You know, when Mika lost that big flip, he lost a lot of his energy. He lost momentum. His rail lost a lot of energy. It all means something.
Yeah. Walks are always nice.
Unless you have a big hand.
No, that's why you don't look when you're in a big blind.
Do you have the discipline to not look?
I never look.
Really?
Yeah, because there's no gain. If it's a worse hand, I'm still the same, and if it's a good hand, I'm tilted.
Very
So
pragmatic of you.
I only look when we're playing a deuce to 7 game just to see if it's a deuce or a 7, and then I look only on one card. Even if it's an ace, I don't look at the second one.
You don't want to see that other race.
Yeah. Funny thing is that I can only recall looking once, like past 8 months or something, and I did have kings. So I was like, all right, you know, back to what worked.
That's right, yeah. Reaffirming.
Yeah.
Mika's raised with Queen 8, Danchev with Queen Deuce of clubs.
Probably calls. Hope he doesn't 3-bet.
What do you do, Lex?
Probably think I between call and fold.
875.
I hate 3-betting this hand though, because if you get called, you're pretty much screwed unless you flop a queen or a flush draw. It's just extremely hard to play the hand. Even when you flop a queen and you bet twice, you're not extremely happy. You know, it's just. Plus, you know Mika's gonna call you because he's been very active pre-flop. Like he's not afraid of three bet pots, playing flops, stuff like that. So
No, not at all, because I think, and he's probably right in thinking this, he probably thinks he can outplay on the flop.
yeah,
1.5. Re-raises makes it a total 1.5.
little tell there.
The way he cut
in
the
his
chips
hand.
out.
Yeah, he just like the way he moved it forcefully forward. Like he wanted to, like it was like a pep talk almost.
Danchev folds.
Great timing though, really great timing, especially if you see that Danchev hasn't been that active with 3-betting. Even though the stats showed it was the same, I feel that Mika has been the more active. So this is just, you know, like this is good too because he won a 3-bet pot. He wins a 4-bet pre-flop now, so that means that he forgot about the flip. He has his confidence back. You know, he can keep doing what he was doing.
Stefan tweets asking what is left on the level and what is the next level. 18 minutes left, then there'll be a 15-minute break, and then the blinds will go up to 100, 200 with a 30,000 ante.
That's 100, 200,000, by the way, kids.
1,000.
And Rob has a question for you, Lex. Do you think the rails are having any impact in this heads-up battle?
I think it's good for some stress release, especially because Mika's rail is a little more voiced, and it can give stress release because you can like cheer with them in a way, or it releases some energy, like tension. Other than that, I think mechanically, just pure game-wise, I don't think so.
You don't think there's something to like playing a better game when you know your folks are there rallying behind you?
No, I don't think so. I think the experience is better of the whole event, and I think it's before and after, like winning or losing becomes nicer or, you know, better to deal with when they're there. But I mean, if you're playing for like 1.9 million, you should be playing your A game anyway. There's no excuse for not doing that already.
Change of strategy for Joel Mika. He limps on the button. Danchev checks his option.
Showing that he's really confident in post-flop.
Check, a bet, and I presume a fold from Danchev? Absolutely.
Changing up his game.
Danchev, you know, like Mika might suspect that Danchev will take a few like pots where he has to give up like this before he'll start to do something, and you know you can do this like 4 times and then start raising pre-flop again, and then Danchev, you know, it kind of throws somebody off. Like, you know, you move ahead before they think of a solution.
Street Fighter, you can sometimes get away with 4 or 5 Hadoukens in a row before they figure out they gotta get in with the high kick.
I mean, you're just throwing around terms that don't make sense. I mean, to any gamer out there, it's just cringing.
Sorry, I meant to say, I said Hadouken when I meant to say anorexic mukin.
Is that why you started coughing up your dinner?
No.
Check on the flop. A bet from Mika on the turn. Gets the job done.
He's on a roll.
John tweets to say, great analysis by Lex on this broadcast. Will this be available at a later date? Would love to replay some hands. I believe this particular stream will eventually be archived on PokerStars.tv. Earlier on, we were talking about the San Remo live stream that Joe and I did back in October. Sadly, that has not been archived, so you can't watch that one again. I say sadly, maybe it's a good thing. But certainly this particular show, you'll be able to watch at a later date.
The lost stream.